Hey, Stacey David here with the Tales of the Gearhead podcast. Now, this is a podcast about everything automotive, everything mechanical. You're going to get advice, you're going to get ideas, you're going to hear guests, you're going to hear people that are just like you. Everything is going to be wrapped around the automotive lifestyle, so we know you're going to love it. Today's podcast is brought to you by I Did It and Kicker Audio. All right, let's get rolling. All right, we got a great treat for you guys here today. I've got John, Dave, and Glenn. Now, this is not a new rock band, and it's not a bluegrass band. These are all Zcar guys that are here in town for ZCON. Now, if you don't know what ZCON is, why don't you guys explain to the masses, what is ZCON?
Boy, it's a national gathering of Datsun Z enthusiasts and Nissan now enthusiasts that has been going on for many, many years. It has grown tremendously.
And this is all types of Z-cars, right?
Absolutely. Everything from the 69.5 240 like you have to, we've got the representatives from Nissan Corporate who are here today with the new RZ34. Several of them, and we were racing those on the autocross course this morning.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
So, and it's like 6 days long.
Yes, that's correct.
So people can come out, and so you guys, there's car shows, there's autocrosses. What else is going on?
The high performance driving at Polecat Raceway.
Okay.
There's tech talks, obviously, which we will. I'm glad to have you there for that later on. Social gatherings, and a lot of it is just people getting together and enjoying their cars.
Yeah. You know, that's one thing that I notice about the Zcar world. You guys love these cars.
Absolutely.
Man, more so than almost any other brand other than Jeep people.
Yeah, right.
The second I see somebody put a duck on the dash, I'm going to, do you have a duck on you?
No, I was like, all I can see is ducks on Jeeps. And I'm like, that's like the question, why?
I know. My wife asked me the other day, she goes, why are there ducks on the Jeeps? And I'm like, I don't know. All of a sudden it just happened and everybody's passing these ducks around. But anyway, okay, so you guys are all Zcar owners. A couple of you guys actually have businesses with selling parts and stuff. So what is it about the Z, in your opinion, that makes it so popular? All of these decades, all of these body styles.
I think for me, it's just the shape of the car.
Yeah.
It looks like a very much more expensive automobile.
Yeah.
But they were always priced that common people could buy one. That's the reason I got into it.
Yeah.
Because I could never afford a Ferrari, which is really my preferred car.
Sure.
But I would, rather than not having a Ferrari, I found Z's.
Yeah.
And started, working on them and building them, and I used to do it as a business.
Yeah. Much more affordable than the Ferrari.
And more importantly, they're more durable and they require a lot less upkeep. So, and insurance rates are less. So they just bring a world of sporting cars to people that just don't have the means to get into the elite 911s and Ferraris and Maseratis.
Yeah. You know, the interesting thing, I'm glad you brought up the 911 because that's one of the things that it seems like Nissan has been able to do, like Porsche, is that they never got too far away from the original body style.
Right.
They've always stayed.
To this day.
Yeah, to this day. And Porsche did that with a 911. They still kind of look like a 911. And do you think that that's kind of part of the deal?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Oh, absolutely.
And well, I mean, the first generation of them, the S30 body style, lasted 8 years. I mean, which is unheard of in modern sports cars. It's like change them like you're going to.
Yeah, every year.
And the durability of them. That's what my heart started with Datsun 510s.
Okay, so you're that guy.
I'm that guy. Me too. I'm that guy.
So did you grow up with pictures of the BRE cars on the wall?
I was there at the first race.
Oh my gosh!
I was a 14-year-old kid sitting on the roof of my dad's buddy's Jeep Cherokee watching the BRE car come out on track for the first time.
Yeah.
In fact, I had a conversation several years later with John Morton at the runoffs. He was the 50th anniversary. They invited all the past champions to come.
Yeah.
And he was driving another Z-car. And I told him, I says, I was there at that race. And you're the one. It's your fault I'm into these Datsuns. And he said to me, he confided in me, he says that was the most nervous that he had ever been at a race. He said that was his first time as a professional paid driver.
Wow.
Was that race. It was Memorial Day weekend in Loudon, New Hampshire, at Bryant Motorsports Park.
Yeah. What was this, about 72?
71.
71, yeah. Nice. That is so cool. Of course, and then the Z, was just awesome. I remember looking at that.
Wow, the Z came out. One of the guys that I am partnered with a little bit is in New York, Tom Bork. He has serial number 6 on the Zs.
Wow. Yeah,
it was a race car. It was always a race car.
You don't put a V8 in that one.
No. In fact, he doesn't even bring it out. He says, I won't race it anymore.
Yeah.
He's got a 280ZX that he races now, and he's got a 510 in the works.
Yeah. Another thing that was always unique about the Z, and John, you can talk about this, because most of the stuff you sell is modification stuff.
That's correct.
Because there's two distinct worlds here. A lot of guys restore these back original, especially the early 240s. And then the Z was always a modifier's car.
Absolutely.
So
always.
You've got all this fiberglass, you do G-noses, you do all this stuff. So why do you think the Z is so popular as a performance car, as a modifier's car?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and you made a point early on about how folks were doing those modifications, and to Glenn's comment a moment ago, the Z really was kind of inspirational.
Yeah,
people saw the car, but then they saw that a friend of mine used to say, you got to leave something for the next guy to do.
Yeah.
And, Datsun did that. Nissan did that. They left, they built us a really good platform.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't the best of everything, but it was a very good, very economical car with a very inspirational shape. Yeah. And people saw that and they said, we can modify this. This is something we can work on.
Yeah.
And, I don't, I'm not the guru of the mechanical modifications. I do a lot of that on my own cars with help from friends and customers.
Yeah.
But I'm a shape guy, and so I kind of did that as well. And particularly when you get into collision repair stuff, it's very hard.
It's definitely something you're going to do on a Z.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I leaned against it.
That's right. That's right. So many times it's easier to buy something like I offer to do your replacement and then make it an upgrade in the process.
Yeah, your subtle Z thing is very cool.
Thank you.
Yeah,
we were at the autocross earlier today, and a couple of customers of mine were lined up, and I had my car there, and I'm talking, and a car pulls up behind this line of cars, and I kind of said, that car, that's not stock. Yeah. But I couldn't really see why, and I realized it was a customer of mine.
Yeah,
and
it's got your stuff on it.
That's right. I'd never met the guy, and it's like, hey, that's a subtle Z quarter panel. Yeah. So very fun, and that's really been the best part of the business for me, is meeting guys like this. And my customers are, I have Greg Ira, 3-time national e-production champion, is a customer of mine in a Datsun Z-car, and meeting all the folks like that, meeting Peter Brock, meeting Bill Coffey. It's just been me being a younger guy kind of in that crowd has been wonderful for me. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. As far as performance of the Z, obviously, I mean, they're a sports car. They're not really a drag car.
Right.
They're a road course car. So Dave, Glenn, both of you guys do a lot of modifications mechanically, both motor and suspension. So what is it about the Z and its suspension layout that makes it such a great road course car? It was kind of the first thing that had McPherson struts back in the day.
And Chapman struts in the rear, which are a total departure. I mean, that was a Lotus thing.
Yeah.
But that gave more stability to the rear, and as far as independent suspension goes, because the old semi-trailing arm suspension had camber and toe change and everything going on.
And see, I think the only car at the time that had independent rear was a Vet, Jag.
Right.
That was exotic stuff. So for an average everyday car that, is $3,000 new?
Yeah.
$3,600.
$3,600, that's crazy.
But it was also very tough.
Yeah.
And so it would take a lot of abuse. You could take it out and race it and roar around, road courses or public roads.
Yeah.
And it would just hold up. It would maintain its alignment. And it just took a lot of abuse. The differential was literally, the R200 was the same strength as the Corvette.
Yeah.
And it was a six-cylinder.
Yeah.
And the Corvette was a V8. And so people don't realize that. But everything they built, they just had really great fundamental workmanship behind
let's talk about that a little bit, because putting a V8 in a Z-car is like bread and butter. I mean, they have such a huge engine bay, you can drop anything in there. And then, of course, you twist everything up and break everything. So for you guys, especially you suspension guys, what do you recommend? Okay, if a guy is going to put a little bit of power into his vehicle, what rear end do you recommend? Is it the Subaru WRX rear end? Is it something that you recommend putting in? The R200?
The R200 is really...
And that's out of a 280Z, correct?
Yes.
And through the ZX up until what, 84?
84. Well, I actually carried on even longer. It carried on in the Z31, the 300ZX, first generation 300ZX had an R200 in it as well. The guys would pop those out of the turbo cars because they were clutch type posi in them.
Yeah.
They were a 3:9 ratio with a clutch type posi. So guys would swap those into them.
So when in doing that, you got a pretty solid rear end, for strength wise.
And the only thing you really need to do if you're really going V8 routes, particularly newer V8s, is to put CV joint rear axles, because they use really small universal joints in their half shafts.
Of course, there's nobody here at this table that makes those axle shafts, is there?
Nobody does that.
Dave's got a company named Fab, and I tell you what, if you need axles for your Z-car, you need to check his stuff out. It's pretty awesome.
And it's an awesome way to go in terms of service, longevity, and they just handle so much more power. It just takes the power out of the equation.
I've had guys that have been running my axles in drag cars, and I had one guy contact me. He says, I got 300 passes on my drag car with an LS turbo motor in it.
Really?
And he said, they're as good as the day I put them in. The only reason I'm pulling them out is like the rear suspension geometry. When it squats, he doesn't have full tire traction.
Yeah,
that's
and
the
he
limiting
says that's
factor.
the limiting factor on the rear suspension for drag racing. So he was going to back half.
But he's not breaking anything else. That's amazing.
He wasn't breaking anything else.
Wow, that's a lot of power.
It's based off of the same CV as the 930 Porsche 930,
Turbo.
Okay.
And other than that, like subframe connectors, basically putting 280ZX type stuff in the subframe underneath the floors, because that's what causes them to twist. And maybe a simple roll bar, like a base SCCA roll bar, it doesn't really intrude on anything else. But it stiffens the car immensely.
Yeah, and the connectors to connect the top of the shock towers. You know,
it's all worthwhile, because otherwise they do this.
Oh yeah, they're flexy as heck.
Yeah,
they're all spot welded together.
Well, Well, my current project is a 73 240Z to be a track car, dedicated track car. It's got the full roll cage in it. Shop in Utah built the roll cage for us. I had a shop in New Hampshire welded in. It's kind of a unique cage system. Everything's CNC machined, bent. They even engrave where the tubes intersect.
Yeah.
And my fabricator that put it in, he says, I didn't touch a thing. I didn't bend a tube. I didn't grind a fish mouth. He said it just bolted together like an Erectus. Welded together like an Erectus set. And it has the full channel bracing under the floors to support the floors. I mean, I'm only going to run a 2.4 in it on the stock carburetors, but it will be stiff and you'll be able to tune the chassis.
Yeah.
You know, one question that I get a lot is, what are some of the most important upgrades that a person can do to a project? Whether it's a high-end project or just to get it running and driving kind of thing, are there a few things that you recommend that pretty much everybody has to do? And there's two for sure. One is a wiring harness and one is a steering column. Now, you might be thinking, wiring harness, that's obvious, but what's a steering column thing? Well, the problem with old steering columns is that they break. They're not compatible with most of the aftermarket wiring and components that you're going to be using. Putting in an aftermarket steering column is really a wise thing to do. And the guys that I did it have been doing this forever. Now, they started in the street rod world, but don't make the mistake of thinking that their applications are just street rod, hot rod, that kind of thing. They also have direct bolt-in columns for muscle cars. They've got them for four-wheel drive vehicles. They've got universal columns that you can shorten. That's what I put in Sergeant Rock. I've used their columns for years, and they are one of the staples that I recommend that somebody puts in pretty much any vehicle, because it's what you're holding on to. It's what controls a lot of your wiring, your turn signals, whatever you've got it set up for. And it's nice to be able to put a tilt column into an old vehicle. If you're upgrading your vehicle, if you're getting ready to drive it on the road, you may want to think about a steering column. And if you do, check out I Did It. You'll be happy with what you find. Most people know that I was a professional musician for a number of years, so when we get to talking, usually music comes up. And of course, having a good sound system in a project car is always paramount. I mean, it's the first thing you do is get in the car and crank up the stereo and listen to that song. And for everybody, that song's a little different. But one thing that's for sure, the sound system has got to kick. And if you are looking to upgrade your sound system, I don't care if your vehicle is an old classic or if it's something new, you need to check out Kicker Audio, man. These guys, they kind of invented the killer car stereo back in the day, and they continue to have innovations and stuff to take a stereo system where we want it to go. It's all in their name, Kicker. I mean, I remember when I first got my first Kicker parts back in the day, I was like, man, I got Kicker stuff. People are like, man, that's kicking stereo. So, if you want to take your stereo system to the next level, check out Kicker. You will not be disappointed. Okay, so I want you guys to give me a little recommendation. I'm going to go down each one of you guys. Okay, so there's a young kid listening to this podcast, or just a guy that wants to get into a project, and he's like, I'd like to get me a Z. Which do you recommend he pick up? What would be a good project for a guy wanting to get into a Z, wants to have some fun, doesn't want to spend a ton of money, body style and year that you recommend?
Well, in terms of cost, I think a 260 would be the best way to go because you have the small bumpers in terms of styling.
Yeah.
But the car had a lot of reinforcements in the chassis that the 240 did not have.
Okay.
It had also had bigger beams in the doors. So the car was a little heavier. But if you're going to put additional horsepower in the car, a 280 is actually the optimal car because they already, because of the crash standards and everything, they already built the car much, much stronger than the 240 or the 260.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's a little heavier, but weight isn't everything.
Yeah, no, you're adding
especially
power.
when you're talking about modern horsepower.
Yeah. Yeah. Dave, how about you?
I'd say the 280, and the reason why I say that, like the 260, you can convert to the thin 240 bumpers on them fairly easily. We offer the bumpers through the vendors that we work with, and the other end of that is young guy getting in. The 280 is probably going to be a better price point to start with.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
And there's a lot of them still.
Yeah.
Still a lot of them
There's
out
still
there.
a lot of them out
There's
there.
a lot of them out. That's why I say the 280. And
they're not quite as rusty.
because the chassis are basically so similar between all the years. The finding parts to fix it is pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
So the 280, even though it has the big 5-mile-an-hour bumpers on it, if you really want to get rid of them, they can be gotten rid of fairly easily, and you end up with a 240Z look.
Yeah.
But a much stiffer car.
Yeah.
And it has more protection in terms of accident, crush. If you get hit in the door, the door beams are like 3 times heavier and stronger. It's not just weight, it's strength.
Yeah. That's important. How
I
about
think,
you, John?
I think I would recommend a 280 as well. Like you say, you can find them, with less rust, hopefully. I mean, depending on the part of the country that you're in, they don't, command the astronomical prices that the 240s
they're still affordable, yeah.
Absolutely. You can still get a lot of the parts. It's very, becoming more difficult to get the 240 parts for repair. But one of the things that I like about the 280, my first Zcar was a 280.
Mine as well.
It's got
mine too.
Yeah, it's got a relatively simple fuel injection system, and it's a good thing to learn.
It works great. Yeah.
Right? And but I think once you get the car running, which sometimes takes some time if they've been sitting for a while, my recommended first upgrade would be brakes.
Yeah.
So, and you can do everything from a early Toyota 4Runner caliper swap on the fronts. To virtually everyone that makes brakes for the Z-car.
Yeah.
So that's a really good, easy upgrade and adds a lot of safety to the car.
Nice. Yeah, that's good recommendations. Okay, another question I know a lot of guys are wondering. Are you guys just Z-car guys, or do you like other stuff?
Everything.
Okay, so what do you like?
Oh, Well, I'm a member of this club that's called the Speedster Owner Association.
Okay.
It's all replica cars.
Yeah.
With primarily speedsters and spiders.
Yeah.
I'm an air-cooled guy back from the 60s.
Yeah.
And
So do you have a Beck?
I don't personally have. I've had probably 30 VWs.
Yeah.
But I maintain a bunch of these cars for my club members. And I've developed a fairly radical cooling system for 2,300 cc motors now.
Awesome.
Because the motors have gotten bigger and bigger, but
Yeah.
the technical limitations, fin area, stuff like that, fan design is just like stopped in 1970.
Yeah.
But that's my other passion is air-cooled cars.
That's
but once
cool.
again,
I like that.
the cars have shape. They have emotional connection. Just like the Z-cars, people come up and ask me, what is that? Or I had one, or I had two.
Everybody had one.
Well, the Porsche Speedster is the same way. I went to college and I had one, and I remember it fondly. So
yeah. How about you, Dave? What else do you like?
Everything.
Everything. That's a dangerous thing.
Ask my
then
wife.
you end up with a shop like this. It's like everything's in here.
I have a shop. There's one spot for her Miata. She has a 90 Miata.
Yeah.
And I have the rest of it filled. And it's a 32 by 48 with a loft.
Yeah.
And my workshop is actually added on to it.
Yeah.
I'm a 510 guy.
Yeah.
Always have been a 510 guy. My first car was a 66 Mustang Coupe.
Yeah.
And it was red with a red interior.
Yeah.
And I currently have, let's see.
Be careful now.
5 Datsun 510s in different shapes of repair or disrepair. 2 of them are race cars.
Yeah.
I also have a 06 Mustang GT.
Yeah.
Because I loved the Mustangs when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Oh, who didn't? Oh.
Yeah.
I'm an 11-year-old kid. My dad, I badgered him. 69 Mustangs coming out, the Mark 1. I want to go see one. I want to go see one.
See, that body style is hard to find. 69 and 70, man.
I had one
They're
of
hard
those
to
in
find
my
now.
past, too. So we went to the Ford dealer, and he took me down there, this 11-year-old son of his, to look at a brand new Mark 1.
Wow.
John, how about you?
Same. I've owned everything from turbocharged motorcycles to I've got a 1950 Ford pickup.
Yeah.
And a couple of airplanes, both basket cases that need work and typical stuff. But I own 3 Datsun race cars, so I don't have a lot to complain about.
Yeah. And you guys all do some racing? I mean, the road coursing and stuff like that?
Actually, I was going to put my car on the track this week.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the motor had a problem and I couldn't.
Oh, yeah.
But I want to do hill climbs, and I built the car, but to SCC standards, and it's been teched as an SCCA car.
Yeah, awesome.
And so at 76 years old,
explain exactly what so people know what car that is. That's the kit body, but you made it yourself.
Yes, I had a totally rusted out car that I got in a motor swap deal 35 years ago, a right-hand drive Fair Lady, and it was so rusty back then that I wanted no part of it.
Yeah.
But my son was into the Fast and Furious
Yeah.
thing, and I thought, well, we could make a father and son project, because one of the things when I had my custom car business is I put Chevrolet motors in Z-cars and restored them. So I thought we could make a nice project. I was the guy that everybody came to.
Yeah, yeah.
And he went in a different direction, and I ended up having this carcass sitting outside my garage for 35 years.
Okay.
And on towards my retirement, I picked up a 96 Corvette, a basket case.
Yeah.
And I had the suspension and everything sitting in the garage because I parted the car out because it was not a nice car.
Yeah.
But it was a car that we had worked on in the shop. We knew the car. It ran good. And I just put the two things together, and his body kit, his 4 fenders, was the inspiration for doing that. When I found him online, I said, "That's it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. And I'm going to make the Z a lot wider because the Corvette is 11 inches wider than the Z. So and tacky flares were not my style.
Now, what motor do you have in it? Did you say?
It's out of a 2000 Camaro. It's the same motor they put in the C5.
Yeah.
The 5.7 LS1, and it has a Corvette automatic transmission, fully beefed up, Corvette suspension, complete. It's a Z-car with modern suspension underneath. And if I would have had a 350 or 370Z, I would have used that car.
Yeah.
I just wanted a modern suspension because, once again, you talked about,
Yeah.
the old strut type of suspension that was really flexible and all that stuff. Well, I wanted to just get rid of it because I've had so many times that I wanted to have a modern geometry.
Yeah. Yeah. And what color did you do it?
It's called Shock. It's a lime green, lime yellow, I call it.
Yeah.
That they put on the Camaro and the Bolt of all cars back in 1999 and 2000, just for those 2 years. Mm-hmm. It's like a day glow construction worker, road worker vest. Yeah.
And how big a tire you run on that thing? Because you got the big flares.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they're not quite as big as the IMSA.
I make one bigger.
Than the IMSA package.
Yeah, the IMSA package.
But
is huge.
I just couldn't get into that kind of width. It makes the car too unmanageable for street driving. I have 11-inch wide wheels in the back and 9.5 in the front.
On a Z.
On a Z. But I mean, I want something that would look nice and look normal, look natural with width of tire.
Are you running like a 315 or 335? What do you got for tire in the back?
A 315, 35, 17s.
Yeah.
But I just took all that wonderful Corvette technology and said, I'm just going to apply that to my Z.
Yeah.
And being on Social Security, I just had to work with what I had.
You did a good job with it, though.
I built a frame to mate the suspension to the body. And it was just, it's worked out better than I anticipated.
And that's the cool thing about the Z-car world is that you can do that kind of project and people love it.
Yeah.
You can keep it all
accepted.
original and people love it.
Yeah.
And it's one thing, I can't stress this enough. It's very unique to see this in a specialized world because generally, for example, let's take this to the Mopar world or the Corvette world or something like that. People usually go to one camp or the other.
Yeah.
And they usually don't play nicely, which is a shame because they're like either all original and why did you do that to that? Or they're like, modify it, why did you keep it stock? Yeah. And there's room for everybody.
Absolutely.
And the Z-car world seems to understand that. There's young and old, there's modified, there's stock. And everybody's like, that's a great car. I like that. What's next at ZCON? We're right in the middle of it. So
Tech Talks this evening.
Tech Talks is
looking
tonight.
Forward to seeing you there, and
I'll be there.
Other folks, and then we're going to do the High Performance Driving Experience Day down at Polecat Raceway in Fayetteville.
That's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yep. And
your car going to be ready?
No, I'm.
I had to bring that up. He's like, oh, shut up.
Yeah, I have to tow it home. I
thought that's too bad.
It didn't work out.
Okay, high performance driving.
Yes, and then Saturday is the big People's Choice Car Show, which will be at Nissan headquarters in Franklin. And since we're talking Datsun, but we probably should mention that Datsun was the brand that Nissan used to introduce themselves essentially.
Because
to
it sounds
US.
More American, of course.
Exactly. And it should be a fabulous show. I understand this is one of the biggest Zcons, if not the biggest ever.
It's the biggest one that they've ever had.
Over 400 people registered for this.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How many cars you think?
Oh gosh, I would say at least 300 and probably maybe 350.
Okay.
And there's the range from everything that's beautiful and original like what you have and will have, up to what Glenn is doing and everything in between.
And there's something for everybody. It's so exciting because even young people get into it.
They're big time into it.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, it's that Fast and Furious generation.
Yeah.
They grew up with Japanese performance cars. They don't think that's weird at all.
No.
Whereas guys that grew up in the muscle car era, they're kind of like, well, those are, it's like, well, just drive one.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Anyway, guys, it's been great. Thank you. Anytime you're in town, let us know.
Will do. Thank you.
Thank you
very
much.
This has been a pleasure.
Yeah.
It really has.
All right, that's our show for today, which means you need to get out there and start working on something. Spend some time turning wrenches. You might be surprised how much you like it. Now, make sure that you check out our website, staceydavid.com, because we've got all kinds of new products and some other great stuff that you're just going to love. I've got a new children's book called Iggy and the Stick Man. This is a story about a lowly stick that has dreams of greatness, only to be ridiculed by his friends. But then through a series of events, he learns that it is possible to get up off the ground and change everything if you're willing to persevere. You need to check it out. Also, make sure you check out our social media. That's Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, all at Official Stacey David. Our social media is where you're going to find all of our bonus content, the giveaways, the contests, the trivia. We even have extra viewer projects that focus on what you are working on. Also, the new season of Gears will be on Racer Network, and YouTube will be the place where you can view all of your favorite Gears episodes, as well as the full project builds that follow a project from beginning to end. So that's really nice. But remember, the most important thing is you need to get out there and turn some wrenches yourself. So get a project and start working on it. Also, be sure that you go to I Did It for all your steering column and related accessory needs. And if you're looking to take your project's sound system to the next level, well, there's Kicker Audio, man. There's always been Kicker Audio. All right, that's all the announcements. We're all up to date. We'll see you next time.